Welcome back to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast. I am your host, Julie Jester Gayheart, and as promised, it is early Sunday morning, July 21st. In fact, it is 6 a.m. in the morning, and I am currently sitting at our location where we stayed last night, getting ready to meet Sarah, Mike, and Mary to hike the 5-mile section in Pennsylvania from PA 309, which is northbound mile marker 1246.9, and we are going to be hiking to the Bake Oven Knob parking area, which is northbound mile marker 1251.8 on the Appalachian Trail. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a backstory as to why I decided to save this 5-mile section that has literally been lingering over me since the summer of 2020. And if you all have been listening to the podcast, you know that since the summer of 2020, a lot has been going on. I have not been able to get back out and do some extensive hiking on the Appalachian Trail because of a foot injury. But the reason I was not able to click off and hike these miles back in 2020 is because the day that I was going to continue and cross the road over PA 309 it was late July, early August 2020. And this is all documented on the podcast. If you go way back in the archives, you can listen to this episode. I actually fell on the trail on a rock that was very pointy, and it put a gash in my left knee where it was just bleeding. And I had a couple more miles to go before I could get to PA 309, where Stephanie was with the van. And by the time I had got to PA 309, I had bled through pretty much all the bandanas I had, everything I had with me. And at the time I was hiking with a lady her trail name is Pajama Mama, Corey Strathmeyer. She was with me that day, and it was just like a freak thing. I just tripped and fell and ended up going to the emergency room, and it was crazy because all of that was during COVID and, all the mess that was going on with that, and ended up getting a stitch in my knee, and y'all, my knee was so swollen I couldn't even bend it. So pretty much that ended my summer section hiking back in 2020. And I believe I have 7 episodes from the trail that summer. I did weekly episodes from the trail, kind of like I've been doing this summer. And that kind of ended the hiking for that summer. Ended up going home. It was close enough time anyway to be going back to work and starting the new school year. And then everything just kind of went from there. The foot injury, the surgeries, and all the things. So this summer, everybody knows that we started off in Shenandoah, and then I decided I wanted to go ahead and go up to New York, and then we went over to the Adirondacks. And then you guys heard in last week's episode, spent 5 days back in Connecticut, clicking off the miles there. And then just decided that I wanted to end this summer's section hiking, and all of this hiking I've been doing this summer is gearing towards a second completion of the Appalachian Trail as a section hiker. And early on, I was like, you know what? I'm going to save those 5 miles for the last bit that I'm going to do, because after this trip, we're headed to visit family and then headed back down to North Carolina. Not done hiking yet and not done putting out hiking podcast episodes for the summer, because there's some other things that I want to clean up and share with you guys that I'm going to take care of once we get done visiting family. So I am drinking coffee this morning and just sitting here looking at the sun rising over the farm field, the beautiful farm field that I am looking at from the place we are staying. And I'm not sure I even said where we were staying. We are staying at a Harvest Host property, and we are at the Eight Oaks Farm Distillery, not that far from the trailhead, right on PA 309. Amazing property. I'm sitting in some chairs that are right beside a greenhouse, and the clouds are moving, and you can tell the sun is going to rise here very shortly. So if you belong to Harvest Host, which is a service where if you have a van, if you have a trailer, there are Harvest Host properties all over the United States where you can stay if they have an opening, and it doesn't cost you anything. You do have to be self-sufficient in your van, in your trailer, whatever you have. It's not tenting or anything like that. It's more geared toward, I guess, van lifers. This place, the Eight Oaks Farm Distillery, has 2 slots. It's free. All they do is ask all over the country, anybody that's a Harvest Host property owner and host to people to come in and stay for the night. All they do is ask that you buy something from their facility. So, of course, we had dinner last night, bought some things from their property. So it's been an amazing stay. It's nice and quiet. And I am going to get off the mic here, go over, put my hiking clothes on. And what we're doing this morning is I am meeting Sarah Williams, Mike and Mary. We're going to all meet up at the Bake Oven Knob parking area. And then we're going to hop in Mike's truck. And Mike is going to take us down in his truck, and we're going to leave his truck at PA 309. So we're doing a little shuttling this morning. So we only have to go one way. So we are all meeting where we are ending at the Bake Oven Knob parking area, getting in Mike's truck and moving his truck down to PA 309, and then we will start the hike. So my plan is that I will interview these guys as we go. Maybe when we take a break, we'll see how all that works out. But I also wanted to let you guys know that the elevation on this hike is, let me get back to it. It says the total ascent is 475.1 miles and the total descent is 379.6. So not much elevation gain or loss. But the point is, for this hike, at this 5 miles, it is one of the most rockiest sections in Pennsylvania. So a lot of rocks, a lot of negotiating with your footwork, and going over an area of what they call the knife edge, which is just this, literally this knife edge of rock slabs, walking over rocks that are all in different angles and areas. And from what I'm remembering, it's not that long. You just got to be careful and navigate. And it's going to get warm today, so that is why we are starting early. So that is what I remember of the hike. And again, I have not been on this hike since 2000. Last time I did this section was 2015. So I am positive I am missing way more information about. Some people say this is the most terrible rocky section. I remember it being rocky, but I don't remember it being too bad. But once I get out there, I'll be able to fill you guys in. So hopefully you are having a fantastic morning wherever you are as you are listening to this podcast. And I'll be back out from the hike. See you soon. All right, y'all. As promised, we are standing. You could probably hear the cars not too far from the start of the hike this morning at PA 309. Unfortunately, Sarah Williams could not make it this morning, but I am here with Mike and Mary, and y'all say your last name.
D. Domenico.
So I'm going to, as I said earlier, we're going to record as we go throughout this hike because I don't remember exactly everything through this hike. I know it's rocky. It's nasty. Mike says this is...
There's a jungle gym section.
There's a jungle gym, and I'll remember when I get up there. And it's, did you say Copperhead territory?
Copperheads and rattlesnakes are out here.
Good times. So, so I just want to get Mike and Mary's thoughts even before we get started. So, first of all, I want to say thank y'all very much. It's awesome to meet you guys. And maybe, Mike, you could start off a little bit of kind of how we know each other. I mean, this is the first time we've met in person. So, introduce yourself and tell the listeners kind of when you started listening to the podcast.
All right. Well, I found your podcast through the Hiking Radio Network and Mighty Blue. So I am a huge AT nerd. I love this trail. So I have been consuming copious amounts of content related to the trail. So that's how I found your podcast. And then you started Seek to Do More, and you kept mentioning Seek to Do More, Seek to Do More. And I noticed a change in you that brought me to the Seek to Do More program. And here we are today.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the hike. And so what are your thoughts as we actually get on the trail and into the hike?
I think we're going to have a great day. Temperature wise,
we're going to have a great day regardless.
Yeah. Temperature wise, the heat has left, so we're going to have a good time.
Awesome. And now I'm going to introduce you guys to Mary, who is Mike's wife. And she's also somehow got wrangled into the Seek to Do More program. So, Mary, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and what your thoughts are on the hike before we get rolling.
Well, I got into the Seek to Do More because Mike was in it, and I was seeing changes in him, and I needed to do some work myself. So, I joined up too, and that's how I met you online. But I've been listening to your podcast in the truck with him, so I already knew.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. I already knew your voice and everything, so it was like I knew you before we even met on the app and everything. But I'm excited for this hike. I like to get out in nature, and the Appalachian Mountains are near and dear to my heart, always have been. So it's awesome to be out hiking in them.
All right, y'all, here we go. We'll be back. All right, y'all, we are back, and all of us, well, Mary's not. She's still on Clear Trail, standing on, there we are. Now, all three of us are standing on the Pennsylvania rocks everybody talks about. Mike, how far are we in?
We are just under 3 miles in, and we are getting ready to start the jungle gym.
The knife edge. Well, we're close to the knife edge,
right? We're close, yeah, we're close.
I look ahead and I see nothing but rocks, boulders, and scrambling. So, Mary, from your perspective, since you've not been on this section, how's it been so far?
So far, it's been not too bad. I've had to do some rock climbing, and it takes me a few minutes to get over these things because I'm afraid I'm going to fall and twist an ankle, and somebody's going to have to carry me out.
That's not happening today for any of us.
That'll be a helicopter extraction.
Yeah, nope, not going to happen. We're going slow. We're taking our time, and
well, if we do that, you could make part 2 to your rescue series.
Yeah, no. We laugh. We do not want to do that. We are going to take our time. We're going to go over this. And I will say, the weather is good. We're all sweating.
A little humid. Yeah, a little humid today. And this is the section that it's going to be pretty exposed to the sun. So I would not be surprised this early AM we find a rattlesnake.
Mary and I are going behind Mike. So if Mike finds the rattlesnake, we'll look at it as it scurries off. But it's all right. I'm not worried. We're going to get through this.
At least they say hello.
Yeah, well, that's true. There you go. So once we get up, I don't know if we'll be able to take a break on the knife edge. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a couple spots we can sit. And then if we want to, we'll get to that bare rock view. It'll be a climb to get up to it, but that'll give us a shot at the eastern side.
Okay.
The western side of the AT. from up there. It'd be a little bit climb off a trail to get up top to it, but it's a pretty nice view. It's only about 1.5 miles from here.
Gotcha.
And then once we get to there, it's smooth sailing.
All right, awesome. Very good. So, y'all, here we go. Knife edge. We'll be back. All right, y'all, we made it. We are through the knife edge. We're still in the rocks, and we may have another scramble or two, but we made it over the knife edge, and
No blood.
no blood,
No snakes.
no snakes. Sorry, snake people, no snakes. So, Mary, give us your thoughts. That was your first time over it, right?
It was my first time over it. It wasn't hard. You have to just be careful and watch your step and watch where you're going and take your time.
Yeah. And the last little bit, we sat down, slid down, and there you go. So
I believe you said Adirondack style.
yeah, Adirondack style. I tried to do the lean back, squat down, still not that limber. So what do we have, about 1.5 miles left?
2 miles.
Excellent.
2 miles from here.
And some of our conversation has been about how Mike and Mary got involved in the Seek to Do More program. And I'm just going to ask Mike here off the cuff, if you can remember, I know you know, how many days in are you in the Seek to Do More program?
I am 51 days.
So 51 days, how much weight have you lost?
I am on the cusp of 20 pounds gone in 51 days.
Excellent. And not the weight, but what have you noticed? What's changed about yourself just in 50 days?
You know, in all honesty, the positivity. I'm definitely you look at things differently. It's you get more, the clarity you get. And that comes even after the first 30 days, even in the first week, when you do the 7 commitments intentionally and put effort into them. The clarity is the first thing that hits you. And then the weight loss is the side effect. You know, we come into it wanting that weight loss because, we see that big midsection. And you get tired
I'm still
of
looking at my midsection. It's smaller, but I'm looking at it.
But I have hiking clothes that I fit into better now. I've gotten rid of shorts. I've purged clothes. But more importantly, I have a stack of books that I've read. I'm actually doing some of the things that I've been putting on the shelf or back burnering, or think, I just don't have what it takes to do that. But when you start this program, you realize that you can do more. Yeah. And it's been worth, and the community, the community that you get when you come in to Seek to Do More is worth the price of admission. Yeah. It's you have to surround yourself with people that are going to be encouraging and supportive and, going through the trenches with you, and you get all of that here. And here we are recording about it on our favorite trail, the Appalachian Trail. And Barry, I'm going to ask you the same question. So you started how many weeks after Mike?
It was just about 2 weeks after him.
So what made you, was it something in Mike that you saw? What made you say, okay, I need to do this?
He was encouraging me to do it, because he saw the changes in himself. I saw the changes in him. And I knew I needed something that was going to light a fire under my rear end, because there was too much weight on me. I wasn't being active like I used to. I mean, I used to go out and hike and ride my bike for 100 miles in a day, and I wasn't doing any of that. I could barely walk half a mile to the post office without getting all out of breath, even up the steps without getting out of breath.
And here you are coming over the knife edge in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but it was scary because, I'm almost 60 years old. I'm going to be 60 years old in March. And I don't want to be the kind of old lady that is laying in bed with oxygen and somebody having to change my diapers. I want to be...
Oh, boy.
I want to be the old lady that's out here and somebody says, she's how old?
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know part of the Seek to Do More program is, working on relationships, not only if you're married, but in your friendships. And people around you, your work relationships, your community where you live. But I'm going to put you both on the spot. What have you noticed in your own relationship? Because you guys are doing this program, running it together simultaneously. Have you had to work on your relationship around this program? Talk a little bit about that.
less technology in his face.
Wait a minute. Is that what Mike wants to do or what Mary wants Mike to do?
That's what's happening.
Okay.
That's what started happening because of this. We'd go out and he'd be on his phone, and I don't see that as much anymore unless we're intentionally getting them out to look something up. If we're out and about someplace, he's not got it constantly in front of his face. So that was a very nice change.
And that's the thing. I mean, society, like right now, if you go to a restaurant, even last night at the distillery we stayed at, there was outside seating, and there were families all in these beautiful handcrafted wooden tables and seats. And the majority, I will say 90% of the people were on their phone. Mm-hmm. At this beautiful campsite distillery eatery place. Like, it's everywhere. So, Mike, you don't have to say you agree or disagree with that, but what have you seen?
I would like to assert my Fifth Amendment.
So what have you seen the changes in y'all's relationship?
You know, I think we've gone back to certain things like cooking together and things like that. We don't watch as much TV. We didn't watch much TV in to begin with, but now we're not watching.
You're not Netflix and chilling all the time?
Yeah, no, we've definitely, we're probably maybe once or twice a week. We watch an hour of something on Netflix, but now we're spending more time in books and talking about things, and it's definitely improved. We don't have our little snooty arguments as much. I mean, everybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I would be like, "What's wrong with y'all? Y'all don't have little arguments? Like, what's the deal?"
But they're less frequent, and you know. I think we both have our things to still work on and stuff like that. But it's definitely, you can tell the atmosphere has changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The things we need to work on, we're working on them together now instead of going this way, we're now coming this way.
Awesome.
I know people can't see my hands doing that. But.
So we've got, I don't know, a mile and a half or so until we're done with the hike. And what I want you guys to think about, we've talked about the hike, going over the knife edge, how y'all got involved in the Seek to Do More program. But as we hike this last mile and a half, I would love to come back on the mic when we're done and hear about your individual relationships with the outdoors, adventure, the Appalachian Trail, and maybe some of your future goals that each of you have individually and maybe together. So you guys got a mile and a half to think about that, and we'll be back. So we have ended our hike. Boom, boom. We're going to give each other high fives here. Boom, boom. We made it through. We are back to the Bake Oven Knob parking area. And I will say, for that hike for me, I don't remember much of it. Honestly, I do remember going over the knife edge, but I think we were saying when you're hiking through Pennsylvania, the rocks look like the rocks. So very awesome hike. Thankful and grateful to each of you, Mary, Mike, for coming out here and meeting me to do this. So we left off with a question that I was going to ask you guys. And I think it'd be very fitting to end the podcast with this. We'll scoot over because people are coming. So I had asked you guys, you know, specifically, what is it about getting outdoors? Maybe it's the Appalachian Trail, getting out into nature, the mountains. What makes you excited? Well, hang on a second. We got people walking by us, but Mike, you don't care. So what makes it? Hey, how's it going? What makes you excited about getting outdoors? We'll start with Mike.
I love just enjoying the air and the sounds. Nothing like listening to the birds. I think deep down I'm a secret birder. So, but it's a spiritual connection to me to being outside. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like, for me, I love being outside and backpacking, spending a night outside in the woods. There's just a different connection that you don't get. You miss that when you're inside all the time. And we were meant to be outside, and it recharges all your energy.
What is it about the Appalachian Trail, the white blazes? I know you have future goals.
Yeah. I want to through hike the AT eventually. I think for my 60th is when it's going to happen. So it would be nice to be able to do October 1st of my 60th birthday and slap my hand on the sign.
There you go.
So not sure whether we'll make that work
So
or
you're
not.
saying you're going southbound?
No, I'm going to northbound.
Okay.
I plan is to do a no-bow.
He finishes in October.
And finish on October.
Oh, finish. Okay,
Yeah,
got you.
finish
Now,
October
For some
1st.
reason, I think you were going to hit the White Blaze and start on your birthday, but you want to
Oh,
finish.
no, I want to finish on my
Okay.
birthday.
That
on
makes
top
more
of-
sense.
on
Get it
top of
together,
Kentucky.
Jester.
So sorry.
So how long is that? How long? I mean, how much?
That's going to be in 5 years.
Okay.
So got a little bit of planning involved and get time to get the finances and all that squared away, and to get to seek to do more mindset.
Oh,
cemented
you're
in
well
by
on
then.
your way for that.
So-
yeah.
So yes, I grew up on the AT in the Boy Scouts. I'm from North Jersey, and we spent a lot of time hiking through Stoke State Forest. So that's where I picked up my love for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and now that I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm so
mean-
close to it. This is the history, and just being in Appalachia. Period is fun, and it's in your blood.
When he
It's hard to
says
explain.
Appalachia, I want to say Appalachia. Okay,
I was
never
waiting
mind.
for it.
Never mind. I get it, Mike. And there's something about there's 14, if you really think about it, there's 14 states worth of White Blazes. And no matter what state you're in, no matter what White Blaze section of the trail you're hiking, it's like we're all connected.
Mhm.
We're all family along this line of the Appalachian Trail. Sorry, I have to say chuh. So
Well, you're this side of the Mason-Dixon, so we'll forgive you.
okay, all right. I get it. So, all right. Well, I guess 5 years from now, if I'm podcasting or not, I'll have to come back and say Mike did it.
That's
Yeah.
the plan.
Yeah. So there we
Yeah.
go. All right, Mary. What makes you tick? What makes you want to get outside? And what are your future goals? Do you have a future goal of hiking the AT or just being out in the mountains? Let us know.
Just being out in the mountains. I grew up outside. We grew up running around in the woods by the house and playing through the creek and all that. And there's just something about just being outside. Now when I'm all stressed out, get me outside. Get me outside and let me sit or walk or something. Just get me outside. I've always liked being outside. And I don't have the same goals he does. I don't think I could. I don't know if I would ever have the stamina to walk the whole trail and do it through. But maybe section it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But just
Why
being,
not? Yeah.
Yeah, just being out and walking on the trails and just in these mountains in particular. The Appalachian Mountains has always just been right here.
Yeah.
Always in my heart and always will be.
Yeah. When they get in there, they never go away.
No, they don't.
So if you were to wrap up the hike, what would you tell everybody this last 5 miles?
Do it.
Mike?
You got to do it. The rock scrambles and all. It's this section it's a little on the difficult side, but it's not difficult. Just take your
not.
time,
Yeah.
enjoy it, and the views. It's all worth. I mean, it's this section is only 5 miles. It's not a strenuous section by any means.
No.
A little technical on the rock climbs, but it's no Adirondack, 46er.
Oh, no. But it's our Appalachian Trail and we love it.
Yep.
Right.
We love it.
It's in
So
these mountains.
that's right. All right, y'all. I think we're going to go grab something to eat, and that puts a wrap on this. I've been calling it the pesky 5 miles in the previous episode, and I promised everybody that we would be out here. We would finish the hike. And Sarah, we missed you coming up here, but we totally understand. So we're just going to have to plan another hike.
That's right.
Oh darn!
That's right.
I think I'm going to start a new series, Hiking with Jester. What do y'all think?
That sounds
I
good.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
an
that
awesome
sounds
idea.
good.
I
That'd
like
be a lot
that
of
idea.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys, I will be back to wrap up the episode. Any parting words?
I don't know.
Mary
Get out there.
Get out there.
Get out there and do it.
That's right.
Yep, get out there.
All right. My parting words is let's go eat.
Yeah.
Back to close out this episode. hiking from PA 309 to the Bake Oven Knob parking area with Mike and Mary. Mike and Mary, I cannot thank you enough for coming out, hiking with me on this 5-mile section, going over the knife edge. We had such a great time, really good conversation, and I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. And this episode puts a wrap on working on miles toward my second AT section hike completion, but I'm not done hiking yet. So be on the lookout for more episodes with more hiking because the summer's not over yet. Here in a few days, or here for a few days, we are going to be visiting family and friends in Ohio. And then we are going to be headed back south toward home and North Carolina. And on the way, headed south, I've got a few more bows that I need to put on some other hikes. And in the meantime, you guys, I truly appreciate you listening to the podcast, all the messages that you all have sent me this summer. Truly appreciate your feedback. And as always, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thanks for listening. Be safe out there and happy section hiking.